In a world where extreme competition exists everywhere, what does it take to have success in your career and in life? Join me, Nirvana Chaudhary, as I sit down with some of the most successful individuals to discover the secrets to their success, what continues to drive them, and to hear a few exclusive stories in the process. What drives them and their success code, their mantra for making it bigger. Hello everyone, I'm back again with the first podcast this year, making it bigger with someone so special, someone so different. Normally I have a lot of entrepreneurs, founders of unicorns, but this time, starting of the year, I've got someone so special to me, a very dear friend, Purab who's, I think, evolved and, in business term, we say the blue ocean strategy, where you've differentiated yourself into an actor who is doing cult movies. And the first time we all saw Dil Chahta Hai, Rock On. Rock On. And we guys were like, wow, there goes Killer Drummer. And now with Matrix and all of that. And again, doing a lot of production with the Wachowskis, all of that. I think Purab has taken the entire the experience and plus his entire career to the next level. We're extremely, extremely proud of him. I'm extremely proud of him as a friend, as a brother. He's just got back to India. Purab, thank you so much for coming on this show.
Thanks, NC. Thank you. Yeah, it's a pleasure. In fact, it's nice to chat with someone who, though we don't meet so often, but we are in touch for so many years now. So it's nice to, it's like this will be like a catch up basically. It feels like that.
That's exactly what this is. There've been such tremendous speakers, leaders in their own rights who have had the opportunity of talking to, and it's just a 10-12 minute conversation, but so much I learned from that conversation is just amazing, right? So the first question I ask everyone, as an individual, as a leader in your industry, you have definitely carved out a niche for yourself. You're doing things which a lot of people, I think, would take decades to aspire to achieve, but you're doing it very differently. You've taken a risk. What is your success mantra in life? What is it that really drives you?
But it has taken me decades to start off with. I started working very young, like you. So I started working in 97 and now we are in 2021. So it's almost 24 years that I started a career and though I started young, there was no direction, it was just having fun. The initial period of my career was just like, oh, wow, let's be on Channel V and let's do a TV serial and it was just fun, it was just like sort of let's get into the movies and make some money and party, that's what it was in the initial years. I was like 17, 18 years old and this probably went on till I was in my mid-20s. And then suddenly in my 20s, I kind of realized that, so firstly to answer your question, I think we want us to constantly find motivations and constantly sort of evolve to keep life interesting. That's what I feel. And then that's what then in turn drives you. And one has to accept the growth of life, so different things come in your life, you evolve as a human being, you mature as a human being. And then you find new inspirations, new goals, new motivations to move forward. So I'm on that search. I think I'm a seeker. I'm constantly looking for how to be inspired, how to be motivated. The work we do is so hard. Not only I'm talking about even your work, and everybody who has to do any kind of work often has to leave something that they love to go and we were just before you started recording talking about now having the responsibility of children. Both of you and me have become fathers in the last 10 years, so from when we met, 10 years back we met, and see 2011, 2012 we met. So life has changed. You have to leave your family, go to work. So one has to constantly be inspired to go and keep doing what you do, So I've realized that early, and also the way you rate success, for me now it's very clear that everything I'm doing, I have to enjoy. doing it. Whatever work it is, I have to feel like I really want to be there and want to do it. And that for me is success. If you're able to do that, and especially in the kind of career I'm in where people are struggling and this, often it's a freelancer's job, there's no security in that kind of field. You're working from project to project. And of course, touch wood, I've been lucky and I've got the gifts of the universe, so which I've accepted and very graciously, and I'm very thankful for it. But I feel one has to constantly work towards being happy at work, happy at things you do. And if that is achieved for me, that is success, So every day is successful then. Right? Today was a good day, I had a nice day at work. And my wife helped me once, at one time in my life, I was complaining about everything. This has not happened, that has not happened. And then my wife just looked at me and said, "You've been complaining a lot the last few days, so you need to change something that you're doing." So I was like, "Oh yeah, you're right." So you need people to give you the reality check also around, the right people to tell you, whoever you are, however big or small you are, whichever big matrix you've been in, at the end of the day, they put you in your place and tell you, boss, calm down. And I think I've surrounded myself through my life with people like my wife, my mother, my sister, my father, my dearest friends around me. For them, I'm still the same guy. It doesn't matter. So they keep you. And I know you also have that. You also have this problem that I have. You have all the people around you, forever, and they're your friends that keep you in check. So these are things, I guess, why we connect. Also, you and I.
Purab, I was just listening to the thing that drives you, the thing that motivates you, the purpose, all of that. And, one thing that resonates, I've met your family, they're so beautiful individually and they add so much of value to your life, right? And I think now that you have such beautiful children, I think it just changed your perspective, and I guess you're looking at things much, much more differently now. It's so amazing to hear the way you put on the success mantras. Tell me, it's a short cast, so I need to ask you one or two more questions, right? Now, you hear about the big stars, like, Amir Khan, who does this one movie a year. You've got, commercial top superstars who are doing multiple movies, like Akshay Kumar, for example. You've done that. You've done cult movies. You've, again, come up from Channel V, becoming the heartthrob of the youth, and then carving yourself a niche and doing some very offbeat movies. And then I remember actually coming to your set of POW as well. Again, very, very different, challenging, risky project that you took on. And then you went on to going into Hollywood, which not many people from Bollywood are doing. Obviously, I'm considering that in your mind was a risk, right?
I think moving to London was a risk. Moving to Goa was a risk. So that, those actions towards trying to attain something seemed risky at that point of time. And I remember, so my tryst with wanting to go west started with Sense8. And that was something that came onto my lap. I was sitting here in India and I got an audition and I heard it was for the Wachowskis. And as excited as you were, I also was excited, when I heard, oh my God, the Wachowskis, I want to audition for them. But you're thinking, some casting director's seat and it'll be forgotten. And I remember I had a film called Jal releasing in India and I was traveling through the country for promotions. And I was in MP what was the town? Raipur. I was in Raipur promoting the film. And suddenly I got a call saying that the Wachowskis are in Bombay and they want to meet you. They want you to come for a reading. I said, when? And they said, tomorrow. And I was supposed to fly to Delhi for some press conference. I called my producer and I said, dude, I have to go to Bombay for a few hours in the morning and I'll come to Delhi. Can you delay the press conference to evening or something, or the next day? I think something they did. They said, no, we'll push it to the next day. You go to Bombay. So I flew to Bombay. And I did this reading with them in the Taj. They had called me in over there in the conference hall. We sat down and did a reading and I met both of them. And I was with Tina, who was the girl cast opposite me in Sense8. And we both did a reading. And I left, and I remember coming out of that meeting and said, I don't care if they cast me or not, I've met them. That was my trip. I met both of them.
No, but what is it? But it must have been a gut feel, right? Like, oh, that should I do this or not?
They're not yet made their decision. So I was wanting it. And when you want something so bad, then it's hard to, the gut goes haywire. The feelings of gut and instinct go haywire when you're desperately wanting something so bad. So I just said, okay, let it be. And then in a very soon, in about a few days, I got a call saying that you've been cast and it's happening. So that was one major excitement. But in the first season, I worked with them just one day. They came and directed only one day. That dance sequence that you see in Sense8 in the first season, they came and directed that dance song sequence. So that was, and then there was a wedding sequence later on. That 2 days they directed. And then they left. And then there were other directors who were also very accomplished and very great directors that I worked with for the first season. And then we moved on to the second season, where then I worked very closely with Lana, because Lily had stopped directing by then. So Lana took over the show, and I worked very closely with her. And then, of course, on The Matrix. So the enamorment of working with them will always remain, because they are the Wachowskis, they've left a lasting impression on our generation. So many people have been impacted by the films that they've made. So that will always remain. But I think now the relationship is more moved on to actually recognizing on a personal level the genius of Lana Wachowski. She's really truly a genius on what she does, how she sees things, how she sees her films, how films are like a painting. So even this fourth Matrix, I think it's the kind of film that doesn't hit you in the first shot, but when you see it over and over again, I mean, when you think about it, and let's not see it over and over, I've also seen it only once. But when you think about it over and over again, it's like a painting that reveals itself, slowly in different layers. And that's the beauty about this fourth one. And it's you can see the generation leap, you can see the growth of the maker, through the 4 films and where it arrives at also. So there are many things that impact me when I see their work. And even with Sense8.
Okay. Matrix has been my all-time favorite movie, right? All-time favorite. And I always believed. So I wanted to actually ask you, what did you learn from the Wachowskis? And I think you've said it so beautifully, right?
Yeah.
But I'm going to end the conversation with another last question, very short one. But before that, I've always seen Matrix being a story based on the entire concept of Buddhism, of what is real, what is not, how karma plays an impact on your life, what you do good shall happen to you, blah, 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 right? Tell me, do you believe in karma? My last question to you.
Yeah, more and more as the years go by. I believe that everything that happens for a reason, and sometimes most likely you will not recognize the reason which is why you're disappointed by an event that's happened. And in time, slowly you will recognize why that has had to happen. Now, I don't know if that's believing in karma or believing in fate, but I think generally they fit into the same kind of value system, as it were, to think about that. So, and then you just have to, there's a design which is greater than you and me, that is sort of managing and putting things into place. You can choose your reality in that design, and that's where the Matrix, I think, comes in also. Choose the reality where you want to be placed in. You can make that. If you want to be upset and feel crap about it, then your whole life can go by feeling that. But accepting that there's a greater design that is, and I feel the greater design is of good. So it's there to take care of you. It's there to nurture you. If you oppose it, then it's going to be hard. If you just go with it, yes, it will be hard. Life is not easy for everybody. It's hard. Everyone's got their own hardships. But then you start picking up if it was a river, then you start picking up the rapids and you go with the smooth, and you go with the rapids and you go with the smooth, and you just sort of accept. Yeah, go with the flow.
Thank you so much, Purab. Like I said, 12 minutes, 13 minutes, and I picked up like 5 or 6 things, which are just resonated with how I feel, And again, it's funny you mentioned this, but a lot of friends, and mostly friends that I've talked to, and you're the 36th one on this episode, right? Not in terms of priority. One thing that I've resonated is a lot of what I feel is about life in general, about how you perspective on life is so similar. But thank you so much, Purab, for taking out time. And really, I really wish you really great and greater success in your new projects. And we really look forward to when time and situation is better and welcoming you back to Nepal with the family this time. But thank you so much.
Hopefully for your birthday.
All right, bro. Thank you so much.